everyone. Welcome back to QSR Nation, your weekly source of food service marketing and business strategies for success. Here are your hosts, Josh, Beth, Tony, and Grant from the PFS Brands National Headquarters in Holt Summit, Missouri.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of QSR Nation. As always, we have Josh, Beth, Tony, and Grant coming to you today from the PFS Brands National Headquarters in Holt Summit, Missouri to discuss food service marketing and business strategies for success. So, we were off last week. Actually, Beth and I were at the Inbound 2019 conference. Boy, I'm really struggling today.
You guys went to a concert, too?
We went to a concert, in case you're wondering.
Ridiculous.
Well, it was up in Boston, like it always is, and it was a great time.
We parked the car and found our car keys.
Beth,
At
that
the
was
harbor.
really good. Yeah.
Everyone in Boston, I apologize right now.
So we thought we would discuss. Actually, Grant had a wonderful idea, as he always does, about discussing what some of our takeaways were from the conference. Beth, we'll go ahead and let you start. What was one big takeaway you found from Inbound?
Oh, wow. Okay, so one of my favorite sessions was by a lady named Mari Smith. And so she was talking about Facebook and the new things that are coming down the pipeline in 2020. And one of the biggest things that really, if you're in the digital world and that kind of spectrum, is that they're getting rid of the newsfeed for Facebook. In addition to a lot of the vanity metrics, so likes and stuff like that we talked about in the last podcast with Instagram and how they're removing those, they're also going to be removing those from Facebook. And so a lot of ways that you're going to...
That is crazy.
That is nuts.
It's terrifying. And so a lot of the only ways that you're really going to be able to interact with your customers with this new platform is through different segmentations and groups. So that way you're really going to have to find the people that are really attracted to your brand and communicate with them that way.
So what do they think the best way to measure engagement? Obviously, likes isn't the only way, but that's one key way some people do look at engagement. What do they say about that?
It's still going to be your boosted and your sponsored ads and being able to do the proper placement for those, and then also doing the ads within those groups. So it's really going to be a whole new science behind digital marketing and figuring out the best way to be able to measure what you think is a success when it comes to digital marketing.
Now, you're still going to be able to like a post, right? It's just not visible. Is that the way it is, or that you can't like them at all?
I am not 100% sure. I will reach out to good old Mark Zuckerberg and see what he says.
I did hear something about that last week as well. And obviously that's not very, that's a big shakeup for the user, from the user experience side too, because a lot of people enjoy being able to like posts that they like.
And it's, for me in my job, it's very much like, you want to look off of those vanity metrics because it's, all right, I kind of have a gauge as to what things people are really enjoying seeing and what they're not. And so it's really going to take away just this figuring out like, all right, this is the direction I need to go. I mean, it's going to be a huge change just trying to figure everything out.
I tell you, it also kind of, to me, initially hearing this says that the casual user, it might actually eliminate them just because if they can't just quickly scroll through and like some things. I know a lot of people, that's what they like to do, is just go through and just like, memes or posts, whatever, and they don't actually ever truly engage. So this is just be very interesting. I can't wait to see it and how it's going to disrupt things, because that is going to be like a whole new platform. I mean, it's like something Google would do.
Well, and what she did emphasize the fact is that, for photos and everything else, that's still going to be Instagram. So a lot of it will be, Facebook will be transitioning to Instagram, and then your Instagram will be mainly where everyone's going to be going, just to be able to see all the different graphics and the videos and everything else that you're used to posting. But Facebook will generally just be for your interaction, your organic interaction when it comes to conversations.
Man, that seems like
I don't like that.
That's weird.
Bold strategy.
I think it's weird, yeah.
It's because Mark Zuckerberg is all about a privacy initiative. And so with everything going on that he's been trying to tackle whenever it came to, the fake news, that whole idea a couple years ago, especially with the politics, that is his whole initiative for 2020, is making sure that users have better privacy, and whether or not it might actually hurt the platform, he wants to make sure that the user privacy is the number one thing that he's focused on. Interesting, huh?
That is interesting.
So anyone want to start up a new social platform that doesn't do any of this stuff?
Well, just imagine my surprise. I was telling Josh whenever I went to this session, I'm sitting there like frantically writing, and I ended up just taking video and snapshots of the entire presentation because I'm panicking this entire time.
Well, that is definitely a market disruptor.
For sure. Obviously, they make billions of dollars on ads, so I wonder how that will be affected as well. I mean, obviously, they'll still have their Instagram and their other ad display network, but I wonder if the Facebook ads will be the same. I don't know, because a lot of those are in your newsfeed.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how all that's going to work.
Huh. Well, that was a great takeaway, Beth.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's like horrifying.
I'm still panicking. So
wow.
Everything I knew about my job is now changing. I have until January to figure it out.
She's gonna walk in January 1st or 2nd if she takes the day off on the 1st.
Yeah.
And open Facebook and be like, "What?
What is going on, Mark? What did you do to me?"
Well, I thought one of the bigger takeaways I took away, was regarding just the we see them everywhere. Almost every website we go to is just the exponential expansion of chatbots and things like that. How they can really be quite powerful. Obviously, as you know, to generate leads and qualify your leads throughout the sales process without actually having a live salesperson there. And just I don't know if that's necessarily a mind-altering, blow-away takeaway, but it was just amazing how some people are really harnessing these to generate quality leads by having up to several hundred different chat flows and chat bots on one website, depending on the page that person's on, depending on if they're a repeat visitor, depending on if they're a current customer. You can just really segment it pretty crazily to really target your conversation to that specific person. So I thought that was really cool.
Sounds cool. I don't know a lot about chatbots, but that does sound very interesting, Josh.
Chatbots are basically, it's really what they were really focusing on for the majority of this conference. And that was another thing that Mari Smith had said too, is trying to figure out the message that you need to have when it comes to your auto responds and anything that you have with chat boxes, because majority of people, they will trust that chatbot more than an actual human being, which is weird that we're losing that human interaction. But I think she gave some statistic, I'll have to look it up, but I think it was like 75 or 80% of customers, as long as they're getting an answer, whether it's from a human or if it's from a chatbot, will trust that answer as long as it's given to them within 10 seconds or less.
Yeah, that's a good point too. One of the talks I went to, I can't remember the names like you can, but he was a nice, great man. And he was giving a presentation obviously on chatbots, and he said that a difference between a 5 and a 10-minute response time equals like 70 to 80% different conversion rates. Just that 5 minutes can so affect your lead conversion rates.
Wow. So chatbots, do you know that it's a chatbot when you're talking with one, or is it like have a name, like like Mary is chat?
Most of them will say it's like PFS branch chat or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then they walk you through their segmentation or their sequence, and at the end they'll be like, "Would you like to talk to a live representative now?" And then that's whenever your your SDRs will get notified that they have a assigned chat.
But what if you say, "No, I really like you, chatbot"?
But also they're getting those personalization tokens.
What's those digits, chatbot? Hit me up later on the Insta face. The snappy chat.
Oh Lord.
Book face.
Those personalization tokens are very key, though. That they did mention that. It's just making sure that you appropriately place those so that way your user feels like it is personalized to you and it's not just some generic response. But also don't use too many of them to where if you don't have a clean database or a clean CRM, that it's actually messing it up, and it automatically makes someone feel like, oh, well, they don't even care about me.
Yeah, you have to use proper data hygiene practices anyway, and go in there and make sure all that data is correct anyway. Occasionally.
I feel like we came back really smart, Josh.
Actually, I feel like I can't even talk today because I've had so much caffeine this morning already. I'm jittery. It's all jittery. So Beth, any other takeaway you want to talk about?
I talked to another lady. It was fantastic. It was just her entire marketing endeavor when it came to orange leaf frozen yogurt, and just talking about her session was called like how to be basic, which I love just because it was clever, I thought. But just bringing back your marketing tactics and figuring out what those basic steps are to make your company profitable and to make you stand out in the customer's eyes. And so she went through basically Orange Leaf's entire journey of what they started off with their marketing things were, and a lot of times it was the graphics where they had a very, very clever marketing idea and campaign that was all set up, and it was very unique and very colorful, and it was all about different kids and bringing summer back with ice cream and everything else. Well, that really didn't resonate with any of their customers. But once they finally started coming up with different mascots and ideas and different generators that were coming up with different interactions when it came to social media, it really just brought back down to basics that just really good pictures of your product is what's going to sell. And so all these different marketing tactics that people use when it's like, we need to have a campaign that's going to be centered around a certain message, and eventually the consumer will get the idea as to what you're trying to convey. It's really not. It's just being basic and letting your customer know that there's really not a lot of thought that goes into it, but it's making sure that they understand that I'm here for the product. Our product is always going to be number one, and you always can expect the same things.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of my final takeaways. Well, I mean, I had, millions of them, of course. And but there's some I don't want to give away because I'm going to try them this week. But the thing was, no matter, didn't necessarily hear this in a topic, but just after going to all these sessions, it's that there's so much stuff out there you think you should be doing, but it's like you get bright light syndrome. You're pulling yourself too many different directions at one time. You need to find out what works and double down on it and really hone into those practices.
Well, and that's, at the end of the day, that's just still marketing 101, right? I mean, a lot of hands can be in the cookie jar, but that doesn't benefit really anybody, long term. You figure out where you need to make your investments at. Like you said, double down on it, stay true to it, and then just focus on it. Make that your game plan. That you shouldn't be doing, 7, 8, 9 things because you can't do them well. And that will get very expensive very fast. And even if you can afford it, and even if you have the time to do it, it still may not be beneficial for you to be doing, extra stuff. I mean, really get engaged, find where your audience is at, and then continue to grow and foster those relationships for brand loyalty purposes to develop long-term customers.
Well put, Tony.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. And to your point, too, you don't have to be an expert in every single area, too. If you do have the budget, there's tons of other people out there that give you a bigger bang for your buck than you spending hours trying to teach yourself everything.
Yep.
Like in regards to AI, I know that was a big topic there as well. But who has the time to become an AI expert just for your business? You can reach out to other people that already have that expertise. Yep.
True that, Josh.
100% yes on that one.
Well, if you have any questions for us, you can reach out to us at qsrnation@pfsbrands.com. Subscribe to the podcast at pfsbrands.com/podcast.
You can also follow us
Social,
on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which is pretty awesome. So especially follow us on Instagram because we'll always give you little snippets as to what's going on in the studio.
Yeah, and apparently that's where it's all going to go to anyhow.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
Yep.
Did you guys do anything fun in Boston while me and Anthony were here in Holt Summit, Missouri?
Working.
No, just after the conference we go answer emails and
okay,
things like that.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of those emails roll in.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Where were you? No. Wait, let's talk about this for a minute. Where were you answering the emails from? Was it Red
Boston?
Sox Stadium?
Oh yeah. We.
Right north of the Green
You're
Monster
supposed to
there.
have, yeah, you're supposed to have fun too. So.
Work-life balance. Thanks, Grant.
Yeah, exactly.
Appreciate that.
We did get to go visit Fenway Park, but we really just hooked up to their Wi-Fi so that we could answer emails.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what I love about you guys. You're true workaholics. You always are like, hey, I could be drinking a beer and enjoying a baseball game, but no, I'm going to use the free Wi-Fi and answer an email.
Yeah.
Actually, Mari and I did go to a talk with Alex Cora, the Red Sox manager, Brad Stevenson, the Celtics head coach, and then Jonathan Kraft, the president of the Patriots. They did a panel. It was pretty awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
You said Jonathan. You mean Bob Kraft?
No, it was Jonathan, his son.
Oh, his son. Okay.
Boom. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, no, it was his son. He's the GM/president,
Okay,
I think, one or
okay.
two. Yeah, so it was pretty awesome watching him walk in and realize that he's a billionaire or whatever he is, and it's just like crazy.
Money doesn't matter, though.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Keep telling yourself that, Grant.
Other lies that Grant's told today.
Well, does anybody have anything relevant to add anymore?
No, that was pretty much just a rant. So
Okay. Well, for your team here at QSR Nation, we'll talk to you next week.
Today's episode is brought to you by Blue Taco. It's the franchise your location needs for simply Southwest goodness. Visit our website at thebluetaco.com. And remember, it's BLU. Be sure to stop by next week for another episode of QSR Nation. And be sure to check us out online at pfsbrands.com/podcast.